Greg, thank you for joining us.
Lori, it's good to be here.
We're here to help you understand what goes into a death penalty case on the federal level. It is not something we see all that often. So give us some perspective on federal capital punishment.
Federal capital punishment is very rare because it's limited to murder, to genocide, to espionage, to acts of terrorism. So typically, when you see a federal death penalty case, you have a terrorist that has planned a horrific act, like a bombing in New York City. But it's interesting, that trend is changing, and it's changing rapidly. Under the past Trump administration, there were 22 federal executions. Then comes in Biden. Merrick Garland, virtually the first day, issued a stay and a moratorium on federal death cases. At the end of President Biden's tenure, he commuted 37 of 40 pending federal capital cases.
Now it looks like things are flipping back.
The pendulum has not swung, it has catapulted.
Wow.
On day one, new Attorney General Pam Bondi issued an order saying that we are now going to review all cases that were death penalty eligible under President Biden's tenure. We are going to find ways to seek the death penalty more frequently, and we are taking the moratorium off the table.
And this is the new case, and we talk about cases having lots of publicity, of course. This takes that concept to a whole new level. Some Americans sharing in the anger against the health insurance industry or against high-powered executives, or just obsessing over this guy, Luigi Mangione, as a pop culture figure, and the court system is having to adapt. So how do you weave your way through all of that in court?
Well, it's interesting. So now you have two parallel prosecutions. In New York State prosecution, New York does not have the death penalty. Now you have a federal death case. But in the middle is Luigi, and instead of characterizing him as a defendant, he is relishing in the role of vigilante. And he has helped manipulate that imagery with the media. If you'll remember, after the shooting on December 4th of Brian Thompson in the back as he walked down the street to a conference in New York, they found bullet fragments, casings. On there was etched, delay, depose, deny, the mantra for individuals that are critical of health care. Fast forward, he gets arrested. So what does his lawyers do? Do they say, be patient, let's make the state prove beyond a reasonable doubt? No, they go on the attack immediately. Their mantra is to attack United Healthcare and other big healthcare. The lawyer has made no bones that they are going for jury nullification. So it's going to be interesting whether this tactic of trying to sensationalize or paint Luigi as a populist vigilante will be allowed in the courtroom.
We'll have to see. We'll be watching.
We shall.
Greg, thank you.
And Lori and Greg, thank you. If you have a legal question, send it to AskIsaacs@WAT.com. And remember, we talk with Greg every Wednesday at 5:30 right here on Channel 6. And for a deeper conversation, just a reminder, you can always tune into WAT.com every Wednesday at 2:30.